Hi gang, yes, you get a treat this week. It is I, Matt, with the awesome presentation about open house posters. Yeah, I know. This video is about posters for open house. Ooh, for our open house poster session.
Boo.
Boo, no, boo. No, that's rude. Don't boo. Hater's gonna hate. Okay. So we want you guys to start working on posters for the open house poster session that happens at the very end. The last day of Inspires is the open house poster session. But you guys start working on your poster now in order to get it in, and to get it in on time, and in order for you to do the poster correctly. So first, okay, what is the open house poster session? It occurs on the same day as the final review on December 12th from 9 to 11:30 in the morning. It overlaps with the final review, so we'll talk a lot more about this later. But basically, you guys are going to be you guys will have your poster session going on, and then at some point it's going to be your team's turn to present at the final review, and then you guys go present the final review, and then you come back. So basically, that's how it works. This is how it works. So the content of the open house poster session is 50-50. 50% technical. You want to talk about your design, your science objective, your payload, how you designed it. But it's also 50% community outreach. Talk about your CEA events. Talk about what happened. Talk about the cute kids that you taught science to. Those types of things. So you want to present the payload designs and CEA results. It's in a relaxed manner. It's in a conversational manner. The judges are going to walk up to you and say, "So, tell me about your project." You start talking to them. It's not a formalized presentation like final review is. It's much more relaxed and groovy. Each team is going to get Wi-Fi access. They're going to get a 6-foot table, just a regular 6-foot table. Legs are going to fold out. We'll put them up. There's your table, and you can put stuff on the table. That's the point of the table. Anything you can put anything that will fit on the table. Well, not anything. It has to be reasonable. It can't be huge. But if it fits on the table, you can bring it. Otherwise, if it doesn't fit on the table, you can't bring it. And then you also have an easel for a poster. And that's what we're talking about today is the poster. Okay? So you get Wi-Fi, a 6-foot table, and an easel. That's it. Okay? We'll print the poster for you as well. You got to make the poster though. You got to design it. So the open house poster. The details of this are in the front of your book in the RFP, the request for payload, page 7. Go look at that section, please, in the RFP and review this stuff in the book. It'll help you out a lot, okay? But each team will have a poster. You're going to have a poster for open house poster session. Otherwise, then it just doesn't make any sense because it's called the poster session. But the poster's got to have at least these things: your team name. You can also put your team number on there if you're Vinemont 1 or West Point 5 or Hartzell 2 or James Clemens or Gunnersville. Did I name all the schools? So team name, team logo with the logo for your team, high school name. Obviously, you want to have your high school name on there, and the logo or the seal or whatever you're using for your high school. That's the same stuff that's in your PowerPoint. You want to list your science objective or the objective of your mission what's your overall objective for your mission? You want to list that on the poster. You want a figure, a representation of your payload, like a CAD drawing or some sort of other picture or drawing that you guys have made to represent your payload. And now the CEA stuff. You want to have the number of CEA visitors, the total number of visitors, and a histogram, which is basically just a bar chart, a histogram of the grade demographics, the grade levels, because the CEA survey asks for the grades. It says, 1st through 12th, and then it says adult, right? So we want a histogram of the grade levels to show, you had mostly 4th graders, or you had mostly 10th graders, or you had mostly adults show up at your events. Then the descriptions of the CEAs, you're going to have these, you have these CEA events, and then what are the descriptions of these events? And then photos, very important. Photos of the CEAs. Very important to do. I've got a couple of posters right here just to show you this morning, or show you today. I don't know when you're watching this. So this first poster it's Cloud9 is the team name, as you would probably guess. They got their science objective. By the way, the posters last year, the requirements on the posters were slightly different, so this poster might not match your requirements exactly, but this just gives you representation of the poster. So science objective, team name, logo, high school name, high school logo. There's the CEA demographics. There's pictures from the CEA events, and there's their payload that they have on there too. So they've got everything on there. They've got clouds going through here. They've got this cloud theme. You know, it's a nice looking poster. Okay. Another poster here too. This is called Pompeii. That's their team name, their team logo. Their high school, the high school logo, science objective, their payload design right there, more payload design here, pictures of the CEA events, descriptions of the CEA events, and then the statistics, the demographics from the CEA events. So again, this was from last semester, or the spring semester, so your requirements are a little bit different than these requirements, and the survey that we had last time was a little bit different as well. So it's not going to match you guys exactly. But this gives you a representation of what it looks like. And there's, we did Venus last year, and so that's the picture of Venus, which is always nice to have. So those are two posters. Pretty simple, right? But you want to make sure you get it right. A nice looking poster makes a big difference at the poster session. So the poster, what are the specs on the posters? Now, the dimensions of the poster, like these two, like this poster is 40 by 32, okay? Now you can make your poster 40 by 32, or you can make it like this. I don't care, whatever you want to do. If it's landscape or portrait, I don't care. But the dimensions are going to be 40 inches and 32 inches, okay? Those are the dimensions of your poster. And when you're making your poster in your software, whatever you use, if you use PowerPoint, Publisher, Photoshop, GIMP, what else is there? Illustrator, I don't know, if you draw it by, we had one team draw it by hand one year actually, remember that?
Word.
Yeah, we had a team to use Word. That was weird. It was a good poster too. Pretty good poster. It was the one with the plane, remember that?
I remember it because the guy said Word.
Yeah. So yeah, they used.
Because the word's through.
They used Word. It was a good. It was a decent poster.
Yeah, whatever for Grissom.
So anyway, when you're making your poster in your software, make sure that your software knows your poster is full scale. Okay, so this says make it at full scale. That means the software knows that the poster is 40 inches by 32 inches or 32 inches by 40 inches, okay? The software knows this. This is very important. I know, whatever. So the software knows this so that you're making it full scale, so that when you put font on there, the font is the correct size for those dimensions. When these posters were made, these were done in PowerPoint, I think. When these were made, the software, they told PowerPoint that this is 40 inches and this is 32 inches, okay? They told PowerPoint this, so it was all set out properly. Because what happens if you open up PowerPoint and just use a blank slide from PowerPoint, just the standard stuff, that is sized at, what is that sized at? 8 by 10, I think. And when it, no, but the actual PowerPoint slide is not, because it has a margin on it. That doesn't scale properly. And so if you submit that, when you submit your poster, if you submit that, you know, I will email you or send it back to you to say, please fix this as fast as possible. But if we get no response, then we'll try to print it maybe. I don't know, we might not, because it always looks terrible. It doesn't scale properly, the fonts get all messed up, the images get all messed up. And also it's not the right size, it's not the correct aspect ratio. It doesn't scale properly to be 40 and 32. So in your software, make sure that your software knows that your poster is 40 by 32 or 32 by 40 or whatever, okay? Make sure the software knows this. This is a key. That's why I'm saying this 1,000 times, okay? So avoid strange fonts. If you make this in PowerPoint or a Publisher and then you submit us a PowerPoint or a Publisher file, and if it's a weird font that we don't have, it's going to show up as gobbledygook. Or it might, or worse than that, it might not even show up as gobbledygook at all. It might just show up as Times New Roman or something. And then we thought, okay, well this font was supposed to be you know, this font was supposed to be Times New Roman, and you had this weird font where it was like all curved and weird looking, and we just didn't know it because we didn't have the font, and we didn't know what it was supposed to, we didn't know what it's supposed to look like, okay? This has happened before, and teams get really angry with us, and we're like, we didn't have the font, and we didn't know it was supposed to look different because when we opened it up in PowerPoint, it just made it Times New Roman, because that's what PowerPoint does, is that if it doesn't have the font, it just substitutes it just substitutes a font for it. So, avoid strange fonts, okay? So, please, it'll make everybody's life easier, and you guys will be happier, I'll be happier, everyone's happier. Upload the file via, the uploads page. You can upload the file as the software file, like a PowerPoint file or a publisher file or something like that. You can upload an image file. Like, you can actually make an image from PowerPoint or from Publisher. You can make a JPEG image or a TIFF or a PNG or whatever. You can make the image, or from Photoshop, you can make the image from that software, okay? You can export it as an image file. It's not hard at all. Or you can do a PDF file if you want. You know, you can always save anything as a PDF file. But again, when you do this in the software, if you export it as an image file or a PDF file, make sure that it's the proper dimensions, okay? Because I don't want, because these posters look nice. We like nice looking posters. We don't want to, I hate printing when I know it's going to look terrible because it's just a waste of paper and ink. Last thing, I didn't put it on this chart, but last thing I want to talk about was these posters. They have a white background, which I like, okay, for several reasons, or for two main reasons. Number one, it doesn't use a lot of ink, okay, that's nice. But number two, it's bright, it's brighter, okay? And it's very difficult to tell this when you're looking at a computer screen. When you're designing your poster on a computer screen, like a monitor, okay, and you will design it on, you'll use a monitor, you look at it on a monitor. And the monitor is backlit, which means that light is coming from this monitor and shining onto you. So if you have a dark poster with a dark background, it's going to look brighter than it normally is. This poster does not create its own light. It only reflects light from the lights above, from the overhead lights. So the white background looks brighter. It makes the poster look brighter because it's reflecting more light. If you have a black background poster, they look dark. They just look darker because they are darker. But they look a lot darker than you would think they would look on a monitor because the monitor is emitting light at you. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Posters, dark background posters, always look darker once they're printed, basically, than they do on a monitor. Huh?
You lost me 20 minutes.
I lost you 20 minutes ago, yeah. So that's why I like the white backgrounds, because they're brighter, and teams are always surprised when they get their poster that's printed black or red or whatever, whatever background color they chose that's dark. They're always surprised that it looks so dark. They always go, wow, this looks really dark. Well, yes, because it's not emitting its own light. It's just a poster. So that's that. That's just my little, I'm not going to tell you have to do that, but that's just some advice. So here's a couple of pictures of posters. How about that? This is the Pompeii poster. I did this one for a reason. But here, this is open house. This is the poster sitting next to a table. This is their 6-foot table. They've got some stuff on there. They did some experiments. They actually showed some of the stuff they did at their CEA events, which was kind of cool. Here's another poster. These are both landscape posters. You can be landscape or portrait. I don't care, But here's another poster next to their 6-foot table. And on this table, they've got a model of their payload, a physical representation of their payload. They made this out of like cardboard and styrofoam and stuff. And then here's some instruments, like they made something for a mass spec and stuff like that they have on their table, and they're talking to judges. But this is kind of what open house is going to be like for you guys. Your posters, your 6-foot table with your poster next to it. But the poster, you want to think about the poster. Also notice this team, Pompeii, they kind of have a red theme going on, right? They're from Muscle Shoals. Muscle Shoals is red, right? They got a red theme going on here. Red in the poster, red tablecloth, kind of a theme, right? Looks good together. This team, there's lots of blue in their poster. Blue tablecloth, looks good together, right? So think of the whole package. When you design your poster, think of the poster sitting next to your table and how it's going to look, okay? It's not just a poster that's going to exist by itself. It's going to exist next to a table with some people at the table. So just think about how it's all going to function together when you're designing this poster. All right, I think I've beat this dead horse. So,
Puerto Rico.
what?
Are you from Puerto Rico?
Yeah. So if you have any questions, send us an email or talk to us the next time we see you. I obviously have lots of opinions about posters, so feel free to ask me anything you want about them. And good luck. Let me know if you have any questions. And if you want to submit a poster early and ask us if it looks good, if it'll print okay, or if it's the right size in the software. Yeah, that saves everyone a lot of time if you do that, and we'll do our best to give you guys some feedback on that too. So that's it for now. Thanks a lot. Toodles.